heartbeat, attitude. Guys are, I think they responded extremely well. We've got to, we focused on basically, you got 6 games left, and an opportunity. All of our goals still out there on the table, but 18 practices.
That's all you got left.
That's it. I mean, and these seniors. We talked about these seniors and how much they mean to me, how much they mean to this program, and that we're going to sprint. And put everything behind us that's behind us. There's nothing we can do about it. We're obviously know that that's not the way we're expected to play or should play. And went to work today and had a very, very good practice. And it's got to carry over to the field. That's what we said at the end of practice. We had spirited practice. We had spirited practice last week. We haven't gone out and had bad practices at all. But our guys are focused, and we know we've got a big challenge. We got a team that's wounded a little bit like we are coming in here, and a team that has a very, very good defensive football team. That's the strength of their team. Very physical, hard-nosed, tough-hitting, best kickoff cover team we have faced. Very, very impressive. 4th in the country on kickoff cover, but physical. You got skilled players that can hurt you. Big physical offensive line. And our guys know, because they played them last year. They understand these guys are going to be physical. And the bottom line ain't about Utah, it's about us. And we focused on that today. And I thought we had a productive day with a great spirit and a great attitude to work hard and to get this thing back on track where it needs to be, and to not have that. The biggest thing is consistency, is what I talked to them about, is being consistent about what we're doing. And that starts with it from me down.
A lot of your upperclassmen, Todd, were talking about taking it upon themselves to show more leadership and exude more leadership. Have you seen that in your practice?
I've seen that all year. It's like whenever you go out and you have a disappointing game, and then it's all like, well, we got to show more leadership. I think the leadership's been good. I think we went out and underestimated an opponent and didn't prepare well. And that's what's going to happen to you. You better humbly approach each opponent each week. If not, you get humbled. We got humbled. What you can understand, I think 90% of that was mental. And that's my job. That's our job. And we obviously didn't get that across, because I sensed the difference in them. This week, today, I could sense a difference in them. It's almost like the Monday of South Florida. That's the way it was I could feel it. And obviously, each week you're going to play. We don't have any, week games on our schedule. Every week it's going to be, every team can beat us, and we've got to bring our A game. And we showed great potential, but then we showed inconsistency by, I think, mentally not being where we need to be. So, I think we've got Mike Shanahan, Miles Carrigan, Holly. There's lots of positives. They asked me about the positives. There's lots of positives about what we're doing. It's a head scratcher. I was a head scratcher now. For me too. I was like, and I'm not saying that I didn't, I was concerned, that you're always concerned about that. How are you going to respond? How are you going to bounce back? People always say, how are you going to come off a emotional high or emotional low? Well, pretty much, how are you going to respond every week? Because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be one or the other every week. You know what I'm saying? I think the leadership's been good. I know the character of this football team has evolved, and it's little things, and it's a very fine line between winning and losing. And if you just look at the score, it's not indicative of the game. But it doesn't matter. The bottom line, it's an L or a W, and we mentally had a letdown. We mentally did not come prepared to play, and took a step backward. And we just got to get ourselves mentally back up, where we don't have that. And we're playing, and no disrespect. To Rutgers, but we're playing a better football team this week, and that's my opinion. And we got to get ourselves ready to go.
Do the older guys come to you to little private talks about the concerns they might have, or different things about the offense or defense? Do you have a lot of talks like that with your guys?
We spend a lot of time building a relationship with them. We're not taking that. We don't have a complaint box or anything like that. We're not running. It's not. It's not that kind of deal.
But your door's always open.
The door's always open to visit with our guys, and I think that I feel really close to these guys in a short amount of time. I can tell you too, we've made tremendous strides in the pit way and how we're doing things. We still got a long way to go, Absolutely, no question about that. But yeah, our guys are very. I spend time talking to our captains and our leaders, and as much as I can, as many of them as possible. We also spend a lot of time, and our strength coach Grizz spends a lot of time doing that as well. Yeah, we set goals with the young kids and work with them and meeting with them because they get kind of lost in the shuffle. Some of those guys too. But no, I think that that's probably what I think the most progress has been made. I think in the relationship. I think the longer it goes, the more these guys understand how we feel about them, how we care about them, and understand how we want things done. And there's a lot of little bitty things that we're asking them to do that are very different that I absolutely don't want them to ask why. I'll just do it.
Is Utah's defense a little bit with pressure stuff too?
Yes.
You see some of that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
this week?
And I think it's even more than we've seen. You know, I mean, I think that the whole deal was the pressure that was put on us last week, and we didn't execute and respond, and therefore you're going to see, I think, more of the same. And they're a man-free attack style defense. You know, not. You know, I think it'll be, you know, probably presented differently, you know, because they're a little bit structurally different. But I think it's what you'll see. And these guys are physical. I mean, and I believe personnel-wise are better. But I thought, you know, Rutgers executed really well in what they did, and you know, I thought that was the difference in the game.
How many of what you saw from your offensive line was just mental stuff that you can clean up, and how much of it was just Rutgers guys making plays?
It was the worst we played fundamentally. Definitely this year, maybe ever. I mean, we just it's like we the first two drives, if you notice, doing well. The penalties really hurt us, and you know, a couple of those. You know, the last penalty was you know, being past the line of scrimmage. We were supposed to hand the ball off, and you know, that was a bad penalty. The penalties hurt us there, and then you know, just you know, started chasing her tail, you know, and one guy's trying to make up for this guy, and and I think a lot of it too is not having, you know, all those guys are so inexperienced, and losing Nix against South Florida, it was a different scheme. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we were able to, you know, and we had a very simple deal. It wasn't near as complicated, and then I think that we probably, you know, should have done some things to help ourselves out with that we've looked at too, and you just got to adapt. But what gets tough is to go, we can't run that. We're running this offense. I'm not scaling it back, and I'm not doing that. And you know, we've got to figure out how to make those things actually get those guys to do it, because we weren't. There were a lot, you know, again, one of those plays in that game that we're, you know, trying our best to give effort, but if it's not coordinated, then we're all over the place. So fundamentally, it was bad. Our decision making was bad. When we turned the story of the game is just turn the football over. One kickoff return and turn the football over. And there were bad turnovers. I mean, there were turnovers we can't have. The 4 interceptions were just broke our back, and they were extremely patient. That's why I told our guys, we've got to be patient. But we are going to throw the football. We're going to push the ball down the field. We're going to run our system. And, you know, I think if we would have executed like we executed against South Florida, it would have been a completely different result. I think 90% of that was mental. So that's why I tell you, most of the mistakes were mental. It wasn't from a standpoint of guys that can't do it or can't, you know, the injuries is no excuse. You're going to have that. You know, and you know, the mental part of it, the fundamental part of it is our job as coaches to get them ready to play. And I don't know, we just didn't respond very well, being on a big emotional high. You know, I didn't think it. I mean, I thought it was the best. I thought it was what the doctor ordered. I obviously did not expect us to play fundamentally that bad, but we played up front and with the ball. That was our worst game fundamentally.
I know it's not acceptable, but when you have a new and different scheme and system, is it, you know, almost expected once in a while that things are going to go like that?
Yeah, it's unacceptable, you know, that we had that many mental mistakes. What a mental mistake is that if I tell you to step with your left foot on the inside zone and you step with your right foot. I mean, it doesn't take anything to do that, just effort and focus. And what that is, I think what caused a lot of those things is just us maybe being overconfident and just mentally not, because there was a difference, you know, I mean, and, you know, handling a setback And handling success is the same thing. You have to be consistent. And it is. It's a new system, but everything you say about that to me is an excuse. I'm telling you, it's unacceptable, period. We should not be doing that 6 games into the season. That's why I say it's
They
unacceptable.
thought they had it, but maybe they